Discovery of the collapsed megastructure. Lieutenant Commander Maya Hernandez stared in awe at the holographic display, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The deep space exploration vessel, the ISV Magellan, had entered an uncharted star system on the fringes of known space, following an anomalous energy signature. What they found defied belief. It's a Dyson swarm," whispered Ensign Takeshi Nakamura, Maya's chief sensor analyst. His eyes were wide as he took in the immense field of shattered solar panels, broken habitats, and twisted space elevators that littered the system, or what's left of one. A Dyson swarm, an amalgamation of countless satellite structures encompassing a star, harnessing its full energy output, theorized by human scientists, but never before encountered. Until now. Maya leaned forward, her dark eyes reflecting the shimmering hologram. Any signs of who built it, or what happened here? Takeshi shook his head. Negative, Commander. No matches to any known species or technology in our databases. This is something entirely new. Maya felt a thrill run through her. First contact with a truly alien megastructure, perhaps even an unknown civilization. This was the kind of discovery that could change the course of human history. She turned to her communications officer. "Samantha, notify command immediately. Tell them we found something extraordinary." As Samantha relayed the message, Maya stood up, squaring her shoulders. "Prep and away team. I want boots on the ground, or what passes for it out there. If there are answers to be found, they'll be in the thick of those ruins." Within the hour, Maya found herself leading a squad of engineers and scientists through the cavernous wreckage of one of the largest satellite structures. Magnetic boots clanged against twisted metal with each step, the only sound in the eerie silence of shattered corridors and collapsed atriums. The devastation was total. Jagged shards of unknown alloys jutted out at odd angles. Tangles of ruptured conduits spilled from gashes in the walls. Scorch marks marred every surface, evidence of intense energy discharges. Yet even in ruin, the scale and sophistication of the technology on display was breathtaking. Gravity plating, cold fusion reactors, quantum data cores, all far beyond humanity's current capabilities, and all utterly wrecked by some unknown cataclysm. "Commander, over here," called out Lieutenant Jasper Singh, Maya's lead engineer. He stood at the edge of a vast cylindrical chamber, his suit lights playing over intricate geometric patterns carved into the walls. "I think this was some kind of power nexus. The energy readings are off the charts." Maya moved to join him, her eyes tracing the alien signals. They tickled at the edges of her mind, their meaning tantalizingly out of reach. She activated her suit's eye assistant, Kaya. "Begin analyzing and cross-referencing these symbols with our linguistic databases." "Affirmative, Commander," replied the AI. "Preliminary assessment suggests a logographic script, likely representing advanced mathematical and physical concepts. Decryption will require significant computation." "Do what you can," said Maya. She looked out over the ruined nexus, a sense of profound mystery and anticipation building inside her. "Something tells me we've barely scratched the surface here." As if in response, a deep, ominous rumble echoed through the chamber. Dust sifted down from the fractured ceiling, and the deck plates trembled beneath their feet. Maya's hand shot to her sidearm on instinct. What was that? "Kaya. Status report." "Seismic activity detected," reported the AI. "The megastructure's integrity is highly compromised. I suggest immediate evacuation." Before Maya could respond, another shudder rocked the chamber, more violent than the first. Cracks raced up the walls, and loose debris rained down around them. "Move, people. Back to the shuttle. Double time." Maya barked, waving her team towards the exit. They ran, dodging falling wreckage and leaping over widening gaps in the floor. The very bones of the megastructure seemed to groan and sigh around them, as if in pain. Maya brought up the rear, making sure everyone made it out. Just as she reached the threshold of the shuttle airlock, a final, wrenching tremor tore through the structure. A massive girder, as thick as an oak tree, sheared off from the ceiling directly above her. Maya looked up, eyes wide, as it plummeted towards her, only to be caught, inches from her helmet, by a shimmering field of energy. The girder hovered there, suspended in midair by an unseen force. "Commander, are you all right?" came Jasper's voice over the comm, tight with concern. Maya realized she was breathing hard. She tore her gaze away from the frozen girder and stepped quickly into the shuttle, letting the airlock seal behind her. "I'm fine," she said, though her voice shook slightly. "Kaya, what was that?" "Some kind of emergency stasis field." "Unclear," replied the AI. "The energy signature does not match any known human technology. It appears to have activated autonomously from within the megastructure itself." Maya slumped into his seat as the shuttle pulled away, her mind racing. An alien failsafe, activating to save her life. But why? And what other secrets lay hidden in the depths of this strange, shattered wonder? One thing was certain. The ISV Magellan's mission had just become a lot more complicated, and a lot more interesting. As the shuttle flew back towards the main ship, dodging clouds of ancient debris, Maya found herself smiling. She always did love a challenge. Uncovering the mystery. Back aboard the ISV Magellan, Maya pored over the data her away team had collected, her brow furrowed in concentration. The holographic displays around her workstation were filled with alien symbols, energy readouts, and structural schematics, pieces of a vast and enigmatic puzzle. "What secrets are you hiding?" she murmured, zooming in on a particularly intricate section of alien text. Kaya had been working tirelessly to decipher the script, but progress was slow. It was like trying to understand a language that operated on an entirely different conceptual framework. A chime from her console interrupted her musings. "Commander Hernandez," came the crisp voice of Captain Elias Vaughn. "Report to the bridge. We've received new orders from command." Maya sighed and rubbed her eyes. She had been so engrossed in the mystery of the megastructure that she had lost track of time. "On my way, Captain," she replied, standing up and smoothing her uniform. On the bridge, Captain Vaughn stood before the main view screen, his weathered face grim. "Commander," he greeted as Maya entered. "I'll cut right to the chase. Command wants answers about that megastructure, and they want them yesterday." He tapped a control, and the view screen filled with the image of a stern-faced admiral. "Commander Hernandez," she said without preamble, "your discovery has sent shockwaves through the higher echelons. The potential scientific and strategic value of this find is incalculable." Maya nodded. "I agree, Admiral. We've barely begun to scratch the surface of what this technology could mean for humanity. Which is why we can't afford to waste any time," the Admiral continued. "I'm ordering a full-scale salvage operation. We need to recover as much of that alien tech as possible and figure out what caused the collapse. The Magellan will be the tip of the spear." Maya felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. A salvage operation of this magnitude would be a daunting challenge, but also an incredible opportunity. "Understood, Admiral. I'll begin assembling teams immediately." "See that you do, Commander. The eyes of the entire human race are on you now. Vaughn, keep me apprised of any developments." "Command out." As the view screen went dark, Captain Vaughn turned to Maya. "You heard the Admiral. This is top priority. Whatever resources you need, you've got them." Maya took a deep breath. "Thank you, sir. I'll get to work." Over the next several days, the ISV Magellan became a hive of activity. Shuttle teams worked around the clock, ferrying salvage technology and data cores back from the megastructure. Engineering bays hummed with the effort to understand and adapt the alien systems. Maya was at the center of it all, directing teams, analyzing findings, and trying to piece together the bigger picture. It was exhilarating, exhausting work. Late one night, as she was sifting through a newly recovered data tranche, something caught her eye. It was a fragmentary schematic, showing an array of interlocking structures surrounding what looked like a pulsing core. "Kaya," "Analyze this," she said, highlighting the section. "Is that what I think it is?" The eye was silent for a moment as it processed. "It appears to be a quantum singularity power source," it said finally. "Similar in principle to theoretical models of black hole engines, but on a scale and efficiency far beyond anything in human science." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. A black hole engine, capable of harnessing the immense energy of a collapsed star. If the megastructure had been powered by something like that, it was no wonder it was so advanced. But it also raised disturbing questions. What could have caused such a catastrophic failure of a system like that? And more worryingly, what would happen if it were to reactivate unexpectedly? She was jolted out of her thoughts by a sudden, urgent comm from the bridge. "Commander Hernandez to the bridge. We got a situation." Maya was out of her seat and running before the echo of the message had faded. On the bridge, the view screen showed a live feed from one of the salvage shuttles. The image was chaotic, flickering wildly, but Maya could make out the panicked voices of the crew. "Mayday, mayday. We've got massive energy surges from the core. It's spiking off the charts. All systems are haywire. We're losing control. Abort, abort. Get us out of." The feed cut to static, leaving a stunned silence on the bridge. Maya gripped the back of a chair, her mind racing. The singularity core. It was active, and it was behaving erratically. Captain Vaughn turned to her, his expression grave. "Commander, what the hell is happening out there?" Maya swallowed hard. I think we may have inadvertently triggered something when we removed that data core. Some kind of failsafe or reactivation sequence." She looked back at the static-filled view screen, a knot of dread forming in her stomach. "And if we don't find a way to stabilize it, it could tear the entire megastructure apart, with us inside it." The weight of the moment settled over the bridge like a shroud. They were standing on the brink of a disaster that could claim not only their lives, but the invaluable knowledge they had worked so hard to acquire. Maya squared her shoulders, pushing down her fear. She was an engineer, a problem solver, and she would be damned if she let this beat her. "All right, people, listen up," she said, her voice ringing with authority. "We've got a job to do, and failure is not an option. We're going to figure this out, contain that singularity, and complete our mission. Humanity is counting on us." She turned to Kaya. "Kaya, correlate all data on that singularity core. I want containment options and risk assessments. Stat." "Aye, Commander," the AI responded crisply. Maya looked around at her crew, seeing the determination in their eyes. They were the best of the best, hand-picked for this mission. If anyone could pull this off, it was them. "Let's get to work," she said. And as the Magellan's crew burst into action around her, Maya allowed herself a small, grim smile. The mystery of the megastructure had just taken a dangerous new turn. But they would unravel it yet. They had to. The fate of the mission, and perhaps humanity itself, depended on it. Audacious plan takes shape. In the tense hours following the Singularity Core's activation, Maya and her team worked feverishly to understand and contain the crisis. Shuttles and drones swarmed the megastructure, taking hurried readings and attempting to map the chaotic energy surges that now pulsed through its frame. In the Magellan's main engineering bay, Maya stood before a holographic projection of the core, her eyes tracing the intricate pathways of its structure. Jasper and the rest of her lead engineers huddled around, their faces drawn with fatigue and stress. "The containment fields are barely holding," Jasper reported grimly. "Every time we try to dampen the energy spikes, it seems to find a new pathway, a new system to overload." Maya chewed her lip, her mind racing. The technology of the Singularity Core was so far beyond anything humans had ever contended with. It was like trying to harness a force of nature, raw and primal and vastly powerful. And yet, a sudden thought struck her, so audacious that it nearly took her breath away. She zoomed out the hologram, taking in the full sweep of the megastructure's remaining framework. "We've been going about this all wrong," she murmured. Jasper frowned. "What do you mean?" Maya gestured to the hologram. "We've been trying to contain the singularity, to suppress its energy. But what if instead we could channel it?" She could see the gears turning in Jasper's head. Channel it? Into what? Into rebuilding the megastructure itself. A stunned silence fell over the group. Maya could see the mix of shock, disbelief, and dawning wonder on their faces. "Think about it," she pressed on. "This singularity, it's not just a power source. It's the heart of the megastructure, the core around which everything else was built. If we could find a way to direct its energy, to use it to power the repair systems, we could bring the whole thing back online." Jasper finished, his eyes widening. "Rebuild it from the inside out." Maya nodded, feeling a thrill of excitement. It was a staggering concept, an engineering challenge on a scale never before imagined. But if they could pull it off, "We'd have to work fast," she said. "The containment fields won't hold indefinitely, and we'd need to understand the megastructure's systems on a level we've barely begun to grasp." "It would be a project of a lifetime," Jasper said softly. "The kind of thing engineers dream about." Maya looked around at her team, seeing the glimmer of possibility taking hold in their eyes. "I won't lie to you," she said. "This would be the most difficult, most complex task any of us have ever undertaken. We'd be pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and ability to their very limits." She took a deep breath. "But I also know that if anyone can do this, it's us. We're the best Earth has to offer. And this megastructure, it's not just a technological marvel. It's a piece of living history, a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of a species we've never even met." She placed her hand on the hologram, as if she could touch the very soul of the ancient structure. "I think we owe it to them, and to ourselves, to see this through, to learn what we can, and to preserve this incredible achievement." There was a long moment of heavy silence. Then, one by one, the engineers around her started to nod. "I'm in," said Jasper firmly. "Me too," chimed Kaya, the AI's voice filled with a very human-sounding determination. One by one, the others voiced their assent, their resolve, their commitment to this insanely ambitious plan. Maya felt a swell of pride and gratitude. This was her team, her brilliant, daring, indomitable team. Together, they would attempt the impossible. Maya straightened, the mantle of command settling over her shoulders. "All right," she said. "Let's do this. But first, we need a plan." Over the next several hours, the engineering team threw themselves into the task with a fervor that bordered on obsession. They pored over every scrap of data, every fragment of alien technical spec, trying to piece together an understanding of the megastructure's repair systems. Maya lost count of the cups of coffee she drank, the hours she spent staring at glowing schematics until her eyes blurred. But slowly, painstakingly, a plan began to take shape. They would have to work in stages, directing the singularity's energy into specific subsystems, using the megastructure's own automated repair routines. They'd need to improvise interfaces, write entirely new control algorithms, and pray that their understanding of the alien technology was enough to avoid catastrophe. And they'd have to do it all in a matter of days, before the containment fields gave out and the singularity tore the whole structure apart. It was, without a doubt, the most audacious engineering project in human history. The risks were enormous, the challenges seemingly insurmountable. But as Maya looked at the determined faces around her, the sleek lines of the holographic megastructure glowing in the dim light of the engineering bay, she felt a fierce surge of hope and determination. They could do this. They would do this. And in doing so, they would pave the way for a new era of human knowledge and exploration, one guided by the spirit of the ancient beings who had built this marvel. She thought of the alien engineers from long ago, the ones who had dared to dream on such a vast scale, to reach for the very stars themselves. In a way, she felt a kinship with them across the gulf of time and space. And now it was humanity's turn to reach. Maya took a deep breath and looked to her team. "All right," she said, Let's get to work. We've got a megastructure to rebuild. And with that, the most audacious plan in human history began to unfold. The clock was ticking. The stakes were astronomical. But the spirit of human ingenuity, the unquenchable thirst to explore and understand, had been awakened, and there would be no turning back. Insurmountable challenges arise. As the Magellan's engineering team threw themselves into the monumental task of rebuilding the alien megastructure, the true scale of the challenge began to make itself apparent. Despite their brilliance, despite their determination, progress was painfully slow. The alien systems were incredibly complex, operating on principles that often defied human intuition. For every subsystem they managed to interface with, every energy pathway they successfully redirected, there seemed to be a dozen more that resisted their efforts. In the cramped, makeshift control center they had set up within the megastructure, Maya and her team worked around the clock, snatching sleep in short shifts, subsisting on nutrient packs and sheer force of will. The stress was immense, the pressure nearly unbearable. "I don't understand," Jasper growled, pounding his fist on a console after another failed attempt to engage the main repair array. "It's like the system is actively fighting us. Every time we think we've got a handle on it, it throws up a new barrier." Maya rubbed her temples, trying to stave off the pounding headache that had been her constant companion for the last 48 hours. "It's a different paradigm," she said. "Their technology, it's not just advanced, it's alien. It doesn't think the way we do." "Commander," came Kaya's voice, uncharacteristically hesitant, "I've been running simulations based on our current progress. Even if we overcome these hurdles, I don't know if we can complete the repairs in time. The containment fields are degrading faster than we anticipated." Maya closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of responsibility bearing down on her. Millions of tons of alien metal, the priceless knowledge of a long-dead civilization, the lives of her crew, all resting on her shoulders. She was about to respond when a sudden, urgent communication from the Magellan cut through the control center. "Commander Hernandez." It was Captain Vaughn, and there was an uncharacteristic note of alarm in his voice. "We've got company out here. Unknown vessels just dropped out of FTL on the edge of the system." Maya's heart leaped into her throat. "Unknown vessels? Oh, they're not responding to hails," Vaughn said tersely. "But they're armed, and they're heading straight for the megastructure." A new complication, one they emphatically did not need. Maya's mind raced, trying to factor this new threat into their already precarious equation. "Keep trying to hail them," she said, "and put the Magellan between them and the megastructure. We can't afford any interruptions." But even as she said it, a cold certainty settled in her gut. Whoever these newcomers were, they weren't here by chance. The lure of the alien technology, the promise of unimaginable power, it was bound to attract attention. And not all of that attention would be friendly. Over the next several hours, the situation outside the megastructure grew increasingly tense. The unknown ships took up positions around the structure, ignoring all attempts at communication. Their very silence was ominous, heavy with unspoken threat. Inside, Maya and her team worked with a renewed sense of urgency, trying to block out the looming specter of potential conflict. They were in a race now, not just against the failing containment fields, but against whoever was out there, waiting for their chance to seize the prize. But despite their best efforts, the megastructure's systems continued to resist them. It was like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded, with the added pressure of a ticking clock and the threat of armed intruders. Tempers frayed, exhaustion took its toll. There were moments when the task seemed utterly hopeless, when the sheer magnitude of what they were attempting threatened to crush their spirits. But through it all, Maya remained a pillar of strength and resolve. She pushed her team, and herself, to the very limits of their capabilities. She inspired them with her unwavering belief in their mission, her conviction that they could overcome any obstacle. And slowly, painfully, they began to make headway. The critical energy junction redirected here, a repair subroutine successfully initiated there. The megastructure, stubborn and enigmatic, started to yield its secrets. But would it be enough? With the clock ticking down, with the hostile presence outside growing more ominous by the hour, could they achieve the impossible before it was too late? These questions weighed heavily on Maya as she stood before the central control console, her eyes fixed on the holographic display of the slowly evolving megastructure. They were so close, but close wouldn't be enough. Not with so much at stake. Suddenly, Kaya's voice cut through her thoughts, sharp with alarm. "Commander, I'm detecting a massive energy surge from the unknown vessels. They're powering up weapons." Maida's blood ran cold. They were out of time. She opened a channel to the Magellan, her voice tense but controlled. "Captain Vaughn, the hostiles are preparing to engage. We need more time down here. Can you hold them off?" There was a grim determination in Vaughn's reply. "We'll do what we can, Commander. But hurry. I don't know how long we can keep them at bay." Maya looked around at her exhausted, strained team. They were at the end of their rope, pushed beyond the limit of human endurance. But in their eyes, she saw the same resolve that burned in her own heart. They had come too far to fail now. "All right, team," she said. "This is it. We give it everything we've got, right here, right now. We'll show those out there what human determination can do. And we'll show the builders of this place that their legacy is in good hands." A ragged cheer went up from the group, a defiant cry in the face of impossible odds. And with renewed vigor, they threw themselves into the final push. Outside, the void of space erupted with the flash of weapons fire, as the Magellan engaged the hostile ships in a desperate bid for time. Inside, the human spirit strained against the unyielding complexity of an alien marvel, refusing to yield. Two battles, one external, one internal. And at their nexus, a single indomitable figure, Commander Maya Hernandez, fighting with all her courage and intellect to preserve a wonder that could change the course of human history. The fate of the megastructure, and perhaps of humanity itself, would be decided in these critical moments. And Maya was determined that it would not be found wanting. She gritted her teeth, her fingers flying over the controls. "Come on," she whispered, half to the megastructure, half to herself. "Work with me here. We've got a future to build." The console lit up, the hologram shimmered. And deep within the heart of the alien marvel, something stirred in response, as if the very spirit of its long-vanished builders had awakened to this moment, this chance for their legacy to endure. Human ingenuity and alien potential, a synthesis that could reshape the cosmos. If they could only hold on a little longer. Secrets of the megastructure revealed. In the heart of the megastructure, amidst the chaos of failing systems and the distant echoes of space battle, Maya and her team were locked in a desperate race against time. They had managed to gain a tentative foothold in the alien repair systems, but it was a precarious one, constantly threatened by the surging energies of the destabilized Singularity Core. "Reroute power from Section 12 to the main control nexus," Maya barked, her eyes locked on the holographic schematics. "Jasper, how's that interface holding up?" Jasper, his face streaked with sweat and grime, looked up from his console. "Barely," he grunted. "I'm having to rewrite the synchronization protocols on the fly. It's like trying to juggle chainsaws." Maya nodded grimly. It was a testament to their skill and determination that they had gotten this far, but she knew they were walking a razor's edge. One miscalculation, one system failure, and the whole thing could come crashing down around them. And with the Magellan engaged in a fierce battle outside, their margin for error was virtually non-existent. Suddenly, Kaya's voice cut through the tense chatter of the control center. "Commander, I'm detecting a new energy pattern from the Singularity Core. It's unlike anything we've seen before." Maya frowned, a spike of apprehension running through her. "Show me." A new hologram bloomed to life, a swirling vortex of exotic energy signatures and quantum fluctuations. Maya's eyes widened as she took in the data, her mind racing to keep up with the implications. "That's not just a power source," she breathed. It's a gateway, a conduit to somewhere else. Jasper looked up sharply. What do you mean? Like a wormhole? Maya shook her head, a growing sense of awe and trepidation building inside her. No, it's more than that. Look at these energy signatures, the way they're folding space-time. This is the heart of a galaxy-spanning transportation network, a system of wormhole gates on a scale we can barely comprehend. A stunned silence fell over the control center as the magnitude of this revelation sank in. The megastructure wasn't just a marvel of engineering. It was a linchpin in an interstellar highway, a crucial node in a network that could connect the farthest reaches of the galaxy. And it had been lying dormant, waiting for someone to reawaken its potential. Maya felt a thrill of excitement and fear course through her. If they could bring this system back online, if they could gain control over this unimaginably vast transportation network, it would change everything. The balance of power in the galaxy, the very future of humanity itself, could be reshaped in an instant. But first, they had to stabilize the singularity. And with the battle raging outside, with the clock ticking down on their desperate repair efforts, that was far from certain. Maya turned to her team, a fierce determination burning in her eyes. This is it, she said. This is what we're fighting for. Not just the megastructure, but the key to a whole new era for humanity. We will not, let this slip through our fingers. A chorus of determined nods and voices met her words. They understood the stakes, the incredible potential that lay within their grasp, and they were ready to give everything they had to seize it. With renewed focus and intensity, they dove back into their work. Every system, every subsystem was checked, double-checked, coaxed into alignment with the singularity's pulsing energies. They were no longer just repairing the megastructure. They were learning to speak its language, to think in the alien paradigms of its creators. And slowly, painstakingly, the megastructure began to respond. Subsystems that had lain dormant for eons flickered to life. Energy pathways stabilized, repair routines initiated. It was as if the vast machine was awakening from a long slumber, stretching its metaphorical limbs and remembering its purpose. But even as they made progress, new challenges emerged. The hostile ships outside were growing bolder, their attacks more intense. The Magellan was holding them off, but Maya knew they couldn't do so indefinitely. Time was running out. And then there was the singularity itself. As they delved deeper into its mysteries, Maya began to realize that it wasn't just a power source or a transportation hub. There was a sentience to it, an alien intelligence vast and inscrutable. And it had agendas of its own. Kaya, are you seeing this? She asked, staring at a cascade of symbols and equations flowing across her console. These energy patterns, they're not random. They're communicating. The eye was silent for a long moment, processing the data with the full might of its quantum cores. When it spoke, there was an uncharacteristic note of awe in its voice. You're right, Commander. It's a language, a form of communication on a level we've never encountered before. The singularity. It's alive, in a sense we can barely grasp. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. They were no longer just dealing with advanced technology. They were interacting with an alien mind, one that had been woven into the very fabric of the megastructure. And as she watched the symbols dance across her screen, she had a sinking feeling that the destiny of the megastructure, and perhaps of humanity itself, would depend on how they navigated this uncharted territory. Failure was not an option, but success might come with its own perils. Maya took a deep breath, steadying herself. They had come too far to turn back now. Whatever lay ahead, whatever secrets the megastructure and its enigmatic heart held, they would face it head-on. The future was waiting, and Maya was determined to meet it on her own terms. Human ingenuity prevails. The final hours of the battle for the megastructure were a blurred frenzy of desperate activity and mounting tension. In the depths of the alien marvel, Maya and her team raced against time, fighting to stabilize the singularity and bring the vast repair systems fully online. Outside, the Magellan dueled with the hostile ships, buying precious minutes with each daring maneuver and burst of weapons fire. Maya barely registered the passage of time, so focused was she on the cascading challenges that seemed to arise with every passing moment. The alien systems were adapting, evolving, throwing up new barriers even as they unraveled old ones. It was like trying to solve a Gordian knot that kept tying itself in new configurations. But through it all, one thing remained constant: the indomitable human spirit, the refusal to yield in the face of impossible odds. Maya's team, exhausted and strained to the breaking point, never wavered. They met each new challenge with grim determination and brilliant improvisation, jury-rigging solutions that blended human innovation with alien technology in ways that would have seemed inconceivable just days before. There were moments when it seemed all hope was lost, when the singularity surged with destructive energy or a critical system teetered on the brink of collapse. But each time, Maya and her crew found a way through, digging deep into reserves of courage and creativity they hadn't known they possessed. And slowly, impossibly, the tide began to turn. Singularity containment at 80% and climbing, Jasper reported, his voice hoarse with fatigue and tension. Main power conduits are holding steady. Repair systems are coming online across all sectors, Kaya chimed in. Structural integrity is improving. I think we're actually doing it. Maya allowed herself a brief moment of satisfaction, a flicker of hope amidst the chaos. They were close, so tantalizingly close to victory. But she knew better than to let her guard down now. The final hurdle was always the highest. Suddenly, the deck shuddered beneath their feet, a deep, bone-jarring vibration that sent loose equipment clattering to the floor. Alarms blared, consoles flickered with warning signals. Report, Maya barked, gripping the edge of her workstation for balance. Massive energy surged from the singularity. Jasper shouted over the growing din. Containment fields are fluctuating. It's communicating again, but the data flow is overwhelming our interfaces. Maya's eyes darted over the scrolling readouts, her mind racing. The alien intelligence within the singularity, the vast and ancient mind they had barely begun to comprehend, was awakening fully, and it seemed to be reaching out, straining against the constraints they had placed upon it. A lesser commander might have quailed in the face of such an unpredictable and potentially catastrophic development. But Maya Hernandez was not a lesser commander. She was a problem solver, a crisis-forged leader who had stared into the face of the impossible and refused to blink. Kaya, reroute all available processing power to the communication interfaces, she ordered. Match the data flow. Adapt to its patterns. We need to show this thing that we're not a threat, that we're trying to help. It was a gamble, and Maya knew it. Opening up their systems to the singularity's full data onslaught could fry every circuit in the control center. But if they could establish a rapport, find a way to work with the alien intelligence rather than against it. Handshake protocols engaging, Kaya reported, its synthetic voice thrumming with effort. Synchronizing data streams, attempting to establish feedback loop. For a long, tense moment, there was no response. The megastructure shuddered around them, groaning like a wounded beast. Maya held her breath, her heart pounding against her ribs. And then, miraculously, the alarms quieted. The vibrations eased. Across the holographic displays, alien signals danced and swirled in mesmerizing patterns, no longer a chaotic jumble, but a structured symphony of meaning. It's working, Jasper breathed, his eyes wide with wonder. The singularity, it's syncing with our systems. It's helping us. Maya felt a rush of exhilaration, tempered by a profound sense of awe. They had done it. They had forged a connection with an alien mind, vast and ancient beyond human reckoning, and in doing so, they had achieved the impossible. Under the guidance of the singularity's intelligence, the megastructure's repair systems sprang to life with renewed vigor. Damaged sections rebuilt themselves before their eyes. Power grids hummed with carefully controlled energy. It was as if the megastructure itself had awakened, shrugging off the damage of ages and readying itself for a new era. And as the final pieces fell into place, as the last remnants of damage were wiped away, Maya felt a sense of profound accomplishment wash over her. They had done it. Against all odds, in the face of unimaginable challenges, human ingenuity and determination had prevailed. The megastructure was whole once more, a marvel of alien engineering married with human innovation. And with it, Maya knew, the future of humanity had been irrevocably changed. As if in response to her thoughts, the view screens in the control center flickered to life, displaying a vista that took Maya's breath away. Where once there had been only the shattered remnants of the megastructure drifting in the void, now there was a vast, shimmering web of energy stretching out across the stars. Wormholes, conduits to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, pulsing with potential. The hostile ships, their weapons stilled in the face of this awe-inspiring sight, hung motionless in space. And then, slowly, hesitantly, they began to back away. Maya let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. It was over. The battle was won, and a new chapter in human history had begun. She turned to her team, seeing her own exhaustion and elation mirrored in their faces. "You did it," she said simply. "All of you. You've just changed the course of human destiny." Jasper grinned wearily. "We all did it, Commander. But you let us. You never let us give up." Maya shook her head. "It was never about me. It was about what we could do together. As a species, as a civilization." She looked back at the view screens, at the glittering promise of the galaxy laid out before them. "And now we have a chance to find out just how far we can go." A cheer went up from the assembled crew, a ragged but heartfelt chorus of triumph and joy. They had fought the odds, grappled with the unknown, and emerged victorious. And as Maya joined in the celebration, as she savored the sweet taste of a battle hard won, she knew that this was only the beginning. The megastructure was more than just a feat of engineering. It was a key, a gateway to a wider universe full of wonders and challenges yet undreamed of. And humanity, forged in the crucible of this crisis, was ready to step through that gate and claim its destiny among the stars. There would be new challenges ahead, new mysteries to unravel. The ancient builders of the megastructure had left a legacy it would take lifetimes to fully explore. And the alien intelligence within the singularity, now awakened and aware, was an enigma that would test the limits of human understanding. But as Maya looked out at her team, at the determined faces of the men and women who had fought beside her, she knew they would be ready. They had proven themselves capable of achieving the impossible, and they would do so again, as many times as it took, to secure humanity's place in the cosmos. The future was waiting, and under the steady guidance of leaders like Maya Hernandez, humanity would greet it with open arms and a spirit of undaunted curiosity, ready to learn, to grow, and to discover just how far the limits of the possible could be pushed. It was a new dawn for the crew of the Magellan, for the people of Earth, and for the galaxy itself. And as the first light of that dawn illuminated the gleaming spires of the reborn megastructure, Maya felt a profound sense of hope and purpose suffuse her being. The adventure was just beginning, and she couldn't wait to see where it would lead. The end.